Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of our Business 101 class. I hope that you're enjoying the class so far and picking up a few pointers and learning a few things that you may not have known. I know that many of you have done very, very well so far. Some of you have had a little bit of a rough start getting your textbook, maybe being put into class at the last minute and having to play catch up. I understand all of that. That seems to happen just about any given term as the school gets everybody situated and gets them where they need to be. Last week we talked about the various legal forms of businesses, whether they were partnerships, nonprofits. What else was there? There was limited legal liability, the LLCs, the sole proprietorships, things like that. So we banged around and had some good discussions on the various types of businesses there. Not too hard to understand, I don't think, for the most part. We would do a sole proprietorship, maybe a partnership, and then as your company grows you would do an LLC, but those are fairly easy to understand as different types of businesses. This week we're going to expand on that discussion a little bit and talk about small businesses. We'll talk a little bit about franchises, and then we'll talk a little bit about entrepreneurship and stuff. Okay, small businesses, which is quite surprising, makes up the vast majority of the American economy. I mean, we think of Google, Nike, all these big companies that are always in the news, but the vast majority of the companies in the United States are small companies. They're often started by entrepreneurs. Who is an entrepreneur? Basically, is just someone who starts up something new. And occasionally those small businesses will branch out, have multiple locations, which are called franchises, if you will. So we'll be talking a lot about that this week, and teaching you a little bit more about just some of the common terminology of business and how those things happen. Now, for a few housekeeping things, I do want to remind you that you were supposed to do the test in week 3. You can do that test twice. I will take the highest grade. I have set it, I checked it, and I have reset it so that you can see the answers as soon as you have finished the test. You can see what you missed. But you do have to keep in mind that when you take the test the second time, the system will give you different questions. Some of them may be the same, it will be the same material, same chapters, but don't be surprised if you get different questions. That's set up to eliminate cheating and students helping each other and that sort of thing. I also want to commend you on the work you've done on your assignments. Many of the assignments are looking really, really good, with some good conversations. The length in terms of the minimum word counts are looking pretty good. So you're doing very, very well on your assignments. The one area that I think we need to improve on, that some of you are getting hit on, is again the discussions. I kind of get the impression that you haven't read the guidelines for discussion posts, or at least you're not following them. So I'll take just a minute here to remind you of those. Each week you're going to log in and look at one of the discussion questions for the week. You're going to respond to that question with a minimum of 150 words and at least one reference that supports your opinion and your ideas. You're going to do that, first of all, by Wednesday night at midnight of that week. After that, or you could do it before, but we have it set up where you can't, you'll respond to one of your classmates. You'll read the various comments that other classmates are making about the subject, one of them that's interesting to you, you'll respond to. You'll likewise respond. There's a minimum post to respond to that, and I do believe that the syllabus requires a citation there. Just simply saying, hey, nice job, Mark, is not going to get you a good grade on that response. That has to be done by Saturday night at midnight. So you have 2 deadlines, and you have a variety of things that you should be doing to get the best grade that you can possibly get there. I do see quite a number of you making your initial post. You're actually saying some really, really good stuff, but then you're failing the assignment for the week because you're not responding to another student. Many of you have a lot of good things to say, but you're not hitting the minimum word count, or you're not using a citation, reference, or whatever like you're supposed to. So please go read the guidelines for discussions and get back on track with that so that you can get what's fairly easy grade, if you will. Again, as I was looking at the grades today, I noticed a lot of you still haven't done the test for week 3. So now that's automatically late by the new guidelines, so you'll lose 10% there. So please make sure you understand the late policies and the requirements for each of the classes so that you can get the best grade that you can. I'm here to help you. Don't want to be fussing at you, but I also don't want you to miss things and not have time to respond. We're in week 4, so you do have time to make adjustments to what you're turning in and to come out of this thing with a really good grade. Also in week 3, we did see our group work kind of start up. Let me know if you have questions or concerns there. I think that's going okay from what I've seen this so far. Do want to remind you that I will have office hours this week on Wednesday. I will, in that announcement, I'll make sure that you know what time, but typically I plan on doing it this coming Thursday night at 8 o'clock on the Collaborate. So if you want to join me in the office hours to talk or ask questions, feel free. This one is ungraded and is not required. It's just making me available to you if you have questions. So I hope that you'll have a good week. Let me know how things are going. I'll see you in class.